The NBA media loves to hit NBA players with all kinds of questions. But one of the common ones is what it feels like to be teammates with a superstar.
What's something annoying about Luka?
He knows he's that good.
Luka Doncic is that guy. And with him, that question becomes more interesting because from the outside, he looks slow, playful, goofy, and carefree. But when you listen to the people who stand next to him every day, the picture becomes very different. So let's listen to teammates, present and former, describe him, and just maybe we can learn more about what's under that smile. So, let's start with one of his closest friends describing how he learns to speak.
He take all my slang, like everything I say, trash talking, you try to use it against me. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Anything, down to no cap. He don't even know what it mean last year.
Indeed, and no cap. He's already learned to speak LA's language. In fact, him and Austin Reaves have built a wholesome brotherhood that has spilled into games. In their game against the Hornets, both players got engaged in a different kind of game after Austin Reaves sent a last-minute prayer and missed. Then, Luka did this.
Timeout, Lakers. Luka threw one in from three-quarter court that won't count.
Hey, did you see that, Austin? Hey, brother Austin, did you see that?
Not to be outdone, AR replied with this.
A Monday evening will come the other way, and Marcus Smart. Good golly, are you kidding me?
And just wait until you hear what Reaves said during that game's interview. But before that, here's Doncic in a recent interview calling AR a big kid.
He's my least favorite. He's a big kid. Very childish.
These wholesome moments also spill into post-game conferences. And here's Reaves describing Doncic.
Because, you look at the numbers that he's putting up, but he does it within a way that, everybody's involved. He's such a good passer, and that's enough compliment for him.
And here's what AR said about that back and forth during the game against the Hornets.
Was that what that was?
Yeah. Well, he was mad at me. He was mad at me for grabbing the one at the end of the third quarter and just chucking it. But, we'll have to check the film and see which one was further.
But we're still going to get into more wholesome brotherhood moments involving Doncic and his hermano back in Dallas. But before that, it's important to know that behind all the jokes is something completely different. And Grant Williams learned that lesson the hard way.
What's it like to guard Luka?
He's special, man. Some things piss you off just because of how the tough shots that he makes and like stuff that looks so slow that you feel like you're in place for and he just makes a shot.
For those of you that don't know the full story, what Grant Williams is describing here is worse than what Grant's letting on. So, here's Kyrie Irving talking about when Luka taught Grant Williams a lesson in practice.
I witnessed him give somebody 24 points in 3 minutes.
That is the part fans at home do not understand. Luka looks slow, but he is always the one controlling the defender's feet. He looks like he's taking his time, but everything he does is one step ahead of the person guarding him. He did it in Dallas before he was traded to the Lakers, but even better this year after losing all that weight. Well, speaking of trades, think you've got an edge on what's coming next? We are partnering with Kalshi, and they turn your predictions into possibilities. It's the first CFTC-regulated exchange where you can trade yes-no event contracts on real-world questions, from inflation to major legislation to the next big breakout in entertainment. Like, if I wanted to trade for Nikola Jokic to be the MVP this year, I just go to my Kalshi app, navigate to the NBA awards, select the yes-no event for NBA MVP, place my trade amount, enter my birthday, and complete sign-up. And then, when the Joker wins, I get paid. Everyone has something they follow closely, whether it's markets, sports, politics, or pop culture. You do the research, you follow the trends, and you trust your instincts. Kalshi gives you a way to put that knowledge to work. Let's say you're convinced the Fed will raise rates, or you've got a gut feeling about who's taking Game 7 of the NBA Finals. On Kalshi, you can trade on those insights, turning your opinions into outcomes. And just like the NBA brings that tip-off to buzzer-beater intensity, Kalshi brings that same thrill to your insight. You're not sitting on the sidelines with an opinion, you're in the game. Over 1 million users have already joined, with more than $2 billion traded, and it's completely legal and regulated in all 50 states. These are real money markets where people like you are trading on what they believe will happen. And here's what makes Kalshi stand out. It even pays interest on long-term positions, meaning you can earn while you wait for an outcome to play out. Join Kalshi, the marketplace for people who don't just cheer from the stands, they trade what's next. Your prediction, your contract, your move. Head over to kalshi.com/hoopers and get $20 when you trade $100. Turn your "I've got a feeling" into action today. A huge shout out to Kalshi for partnering with us. Let me know in the comments what you traded and if you think your trade can win. Anyway, back to the video. One player that saw Luka magic from both sides is JaVale McGee.
As an opponent, just his tenacity, just the fact that he can go up there and give you 40 points, looking like he's not breaking a sweat. It really messes you up on that.
But McGee is not the only G that has this experience. Even Derek Lively learned that lesson as a rookie. Lively described it perfectly when he was asked what it was like to play with him.
He can hoop. He might not be able to windmill, but you know, he's one of the best players in the world. And being able to say that about somebody is crazy. Knowing people are going to game plan for him, people are going to double him, and he's still going to pick you apart.
That is not normal. That is not random heat checking. What makes it even crazier is how many of Grant Williams' incidents we'll never hear about. And just maybe there are even much worse ones. The slow pace, the tough shots, the frustration. When Luka gets into that mode, nobody can stay in front of him. But this story is not just about scoring. It's about the relationship behind it. Kyrie was one of the very few people who truly understood how Luka approaches basketball and how he approaches life outside of it. Their connection went deeper than basketball. And the perfect example of that happened during a late night stream that went viral for all the right reasons. But before we get to the deeper side of their relationship, here's what that moment looked like.
For me, it was respect there before we played together, but then playing with him, he's just, you know, innocent kid, same time, just ultra talented, whole world's in front of him. You want to protect people like that too, because I feel like sometimes people come at him crazy, you know, which is unnecessary.
When Kyrie and Luka played together, it was clear almost immediately that they connected on more than just basketball. Their personalities lined up in ways nobody expected, and Kyrie felt a deep sense of purpose to protect the magic in Luka.
He's not from America. He's not used to the degenerative culture here, you know, at times, especially when the narrative starts spinning. So my goal was just to protect him, man, and that's why it goes deeper than basketball.
That was Luka's first hermano. Someone who saw the real version of him. Someone who defended him whenever the outside world tried to twist things. And even after the trade that sent Luka to Los Angeles, the respect between them never went away. But the moment that showed their bond the best was a simple phone call that ended up everywhere online.
Okay, what do you want?
Streamer.
What do you want?
Streamer.
Yo, do you want me to show you on stream or no?
No.
I love you, man. Call me tomorrow. Yo, don't stay up watching my stream too late, bro.
No, it's 4 a.m. here.
Oh, still doing up?
Nothing.
That was Luka calling Kyrie at 4 in the morning his time. Not to talk basketball, not to talk strategy, just because that was their relationship. This was what the Mavs lost. And maybe one could say the signs were always there of Nico doing what he did, because what is this?
He's always kicking the basketballs.
Always.
his love for football is crazy.
Even before it was cool to talk about Doncic being out of shape, Nico had always felt Luka's priorities weren't straight. But even when it became cool to call Doncic fat, players like Markieff Morris always knew the kind of mentality behind the talent of the Slovenian.
He's a great guy, man. Super low maintenance, don't need much. One of the only guys that I've been on the team with that will play through any injury if he can get on the court. I hear stuff about him not being in shape, but if you can go in an NBA game and get 30, 15, and 10 like it's nothing, then I don't really know what shape is.
As a defender that was never said to be out of shape, he knew how impossible it was to stop Luka, and that was enough for him to pay his respect. But even back in Dallas, his teammates always knew what a menace he was and how he always did unfunny things in a funny way.
I would say like his willingness to take a challenge is funny at times.
So what exactly does Woods mean?
Possession, right? Let's say he says, player A, your points per possession is 1.2. Like, it's great. Player B, your points per possession is 0.3. It's terrible. They'd be like, so don't go at him because he can guard you. Go at him because he can't guard you. Luka will be like, huh?
And that was the unwritten Luka Doncic rule. Be careful what you say because you don't want to poke the bear. Luka Doncic is one of the most unusual superstars the league has ever seen. He looks laid back, but he competes harder than most players who look intense every second of the game. He looks slow, but somehow nobody can stay in front of him. He jokes with teammates like a kid, but then drops 30-30 games on national television. He kicks basketballs like they're soccer balls, and he has taken all of that energy to LA. Now, we have to listen to LeBron James make basketball analogies about how they're perfect together.
I'm a natural born wide receiver, and he's a natural born quarterback, so it fits perfect.
Time will tell if he can help LeBron get one more ring, but regardless, he has proved his toughness to teammates who watched him play through injuries that would keep most players out. The numbers back it up, just as well as the way his teammates talk about him backs it up. Luka is a superstar who should not exist, yet he does. And the scariest part is that he is still only getting better. But do you think this is the year he finally wins the MVP? Let's hear your thoughts in the comments. And if you want to understand just how unbelievable Doncic in LA has been, then watch this next video, because what Luka Doncic is doing to the NBA is historic.